Welcome back. This is the Solo Gamer, aka MacCat, and we're back for part 6 of our Let's Play through Shank 1 on the Xbox Live Arcade. And this is level On the Run, which starts immediately after you kill Cassandra and goes probably as long as any level in the game, and includes a second boss fight, as a matter of fact. So we'll get that started in just a second. And I'm going to be breaking this particular section of the game into 2 parts simply because of how long it is. I don't think YouTube will accept it. And here we go. Now you'll immediately notice that despite the fact their boss is dead, these people keep coming after me. Which I guess, since I just killed their boss, makes kind of sense. And admittedly, this is the weirdest thing about this level, is that it is arguably one of the longest levels in the game. Is also the one that has probably the most combat in the game, but the least platforming. You will fight a couple of hundred bad guys easy by the end of this level alone. So you can expect that to be an interesting run. And when they said Red Light District, they really took that seriously. Yes. Shank is an equal opportunity butcher. Apparently gender does not matter to this dude, because he will take you out no matter if you're a man, woman, don't make a difference. And I'm guessing those were Cassandra's former employees, and not anymore. Now, this level's probably one of those levels that most people, once they get into, find it to be pretty difficult. I know the first time I played it, it took me a good number of tries to get through all the way. And while I'm much better at it now, I still have a few incidents where I run into some difficulty, but I think I get through it pretty clean. Ooh, nothing quite like a big boom to slow everybody down. Ooh, grenade in the mouth. He's out of it. Honestly, he shouldn't have a head anymore, but, you know, what can you do? One more survivor. Not anymore. Now, moving on, this level sort of bounces back and forth between the outside areas and the inside areas like this. Funny thing to note, the only women that this dude doesn't wind up killing throughout the whole game are the ones you see here in the cages. And it's maybe because they're not in a position to actually try and hurt him, they wind up not getting hurt. Listen to you. When an ex-former mafia hitman is tearing through an area, do not get in the dude's way. But as much as I love the game, this is actually one of those levels that I thought could have been much better done. I guess the biggest complaint I had was simply it got repetitive the longer it went on. You know, the meatpacking plant and the train had a lot of variety in their layouts, but this level seems to take too long to get to some of that variety later on, like when you actually run into the heavy weapons dudes, or when you get to some of the more interesting platforming sections. Here, for example, you're just pummeling an entire wall of goons trying to get through them. And while it is fun, and I did enjoy recording this gameplay footage, what I really wanted to do was get past this into the levels with Angelo and Caesar later on, which, in particular, the fight with Caesar is like my favorite boss fight in game history almost. You know, minus 1 or 2 others from some of the other big name games, but I still had a blast with fighting him. And again with the dogs. like that he's just standing there waiting for me to finish brutalizing his friend and doesn't consider that I might just turn around and shoot him for it. Okay, so nothing in that direction. For some reason I thought there was something in that direction I could use, like a booze or something else, but no biggie, I got it. And again I missed my counter opportunity. No matter. Now the girls with the freaking machine guns are a pain. And this is actually the level where you do steal one of their Uzis, which is pretty cool. But it is a pain in the butt because they will constantly be breaking you out of combos. And it's best to just try and keep clear of them as much as possible. Take them out first if you can. And if you're really low on options, you can use grenades to clear a path. Just try and make sure you get the big guys with it, because they always tend to give booze. Oh! Well, amazingly, I didn't die from that. But it looks like I gotta head downstairs. And again, with me and the doggies. And now I gotta head back upstairs, apparently. Okay, maybe I need to climb that pole. So we'll go to the other building and do the jump again. This was one of the things about the second game that the first sometimes had issues with, was level design wasn't always intuitive. It wasn't bad by any means, but sometimes the layout didn't exactly tell you your next direction. And that's a big no-no in game design from my understanding, is that you want to try and make it so that your levels, especially in a game like this, point your player in the direction they're meant to go, rather than having them have to fumble around to try and find it. Man, somebody be advertising girls up the wazoo around here. Then again, as I said before, this is a red light district. I gotta love the creative henchman names, Doza. Just because you're built like one doesn't mean you're as effective as one, as I'm about to demonstrate by chainsawing the crud out of you. See? I do like that they tried to include interactive elements like the breaking glass and, you know, the interactive background stuff. But the real heart of this game still comes down to the close combat and the hand-to-hand. And here we are, grinding down the walls. And slide, 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 slide. And grab some beer. Oh, and I took that one in the face. Now you'll notice I don't have any grenades in this case, which gives me a bit of a disadvantage here. I think this is one of the few times I actually die, if I remember correctly. See? The cool thing is I pick up right where I left off, so I can just get right back to work. It's one of the things about this game is that it was fairly generous about giving the player chances to get back on their feet if they lost. Now you'll notice I busted out the katana, and you do get that after you take out Cassandra. I didn't particularly like it. It's flashy and looks good, but doesn't do nearly as much damage, nor does it seem as effective in combos. In the end, I still prefer the machete or the chainsaw up close. Plus, the grab for the katana is just about the worst one in the game. Ooh, got multi-kill with those explosions. Handy. Grenade in your mouth. And this guy should go down right now. Yeah, 2 machetes to the face has gotta hurt. And climbing, climbing, climbing. Up the walls, grabbing the booze, and I'm sure that billboard up there was advertising something rather inappropriate. Thankfully you can't see enough of it in the game screen, so it's just a humorous little tease. Alright, big guy has to get cleared out first, then I'll try and deal with his buddies. Alright, there we go. Pounce and chainsaw. Now you'll no doubt notice that I've probably taken out more enemies in this first section of this level than I did in most of the first two levels combined. And that's actually something kind of strange about this level, is that there's a lot more combat in it than almost any level in the game, save for maybe the final one. And the combat in that level is a lot more varied because you have both airborne, you have ground enemies, you have enemies on higher planes. It's a lot more varied and difficult, but also a lot more interesting. And she's out of it. And heading up. Now, as I'm fighting through these guys, I believe I use a lot of my grenades in this fight for some reason. And wow, this is one of the most annoying things in the game, is these girls with the Uzis, because they will constantly juggle you out of combos. And we're right about getting to the point where this level ends. And I believe it's within the next few seconds here that we come to it. Yeah, there it is. So I'll save the rest for the next time.